everyone. Hi, everyone, and welcome. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join our webinar, Transform Your Supply Chain into a Superpower, How Wolfspeed Turbocharged Their eQMS. We are so glad you could hear and join us. Next slide, please. Before we start, a quick housekeeping item. Feel free to submit any questions you might have that come up through the presentation in the Q&A chat in your box that you can see at the bottom of your screen. We will have plenty of time at the end of the presentation to answer your questions. Next slide, please. So before we take a look at the agenda, I would like to introduce to you today's speakers. I'm very excited to introduce to you Jim Davenport from Wolfspeed, where he is a quality infrastructure manager. And I'm Jennifer Bianchini, a senior product marketing manager at ETQ. So here's a quick look of what we'll cover. We'll take a look at some of the challenges you as a manufacturer might be facing when it comes to your suppliers and supply chain. And then we'll take a look at the value a quality management system can add for you when it comes to your suppliers, that direct or indirect effect they can have on your supply chain. And then following that, Jim will share with you their quality management journey, focusing on how they leveraged their eQMS to manage supplier performance. And then before we wrap it up with the Q&A, we'll share with you a little bit about how ETQ can be your partner for supplier management. So don't be shy. This time is for you, helping you to be a quality champion superhero. So let's dive in, shall we? Let's jump to the next slide. Okay, so before we kick things off, I'd like to do a quick read of the room, as they say, and what you all think is currently one of the biggest challenges facing supply chain today. So here are a few choices for you to choose from. Hopefully everyone can see the window that popped up on your screen. So there's a couple options here to choose from. We have inventory management and stock outs, or do you think it might be rising cost and inflation? Or are you leaning towards logistics and transportation delays? Or is it supplier reliability and sourcing? Or perhaps it's demanding forecast and accuracy. Or, you know what, you're just going to throw it all out there. It's all of the above. Everything is a contributing factor. Or maybe you're not sure, and that's okay. So we'll give it just about another second here, and then we'll see what the results are. Ah, interesting. So I think everyone knows what the challenges are. Yep, it's F, all of the above. You're correct if you chose that. So, yeah, there are a lot of challenges facing the supply chain industry, and that's why it's so complex. But for today, I like to narrow it in just a little bit and put the focus on suppliers because, and if we could jump to the next slide, please. According to the 2024 Pulse of Quality Manufacturing Survey from ETQ, 61% of manufacturers attribute quality issues to their suppliers. So let's think about that. The critical impact of supplier quality, what it has on your final product. So without better supplier oversight, supplier management will continue to be a contributing factor to your quality issues. Next slide, please. So, when it comes to managing suppliers, there are a lot of challenges that you might be facing. And if we can go to the next slide. You can see some of the challenges listed here, and maybe you've heard of this before. A supplier quality problem is a manufacturer's quality problem. So, here are some of the issues that we've seen our customers experience when it comes to supplier management. And maybe you are experiencing some of them as well. And let's start with this first one. It's pretty critical, and it's one we've heard a lot about. Your suppliers are not meeting your specifications. I'm sorry, did we lose our presentation?
Yeah, it appears so. Liz, I think got popped off.
Okay. Let's
Hi,
see.
everyone. Just a quick logistical issue. So we're going to get that slide deck right up right away. I'm pulling it up now, so just bear with us for 1 or 2 minutes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about that, everyone. Yay. Thanks for being patient with us. I think if we jump to where I was just about to go into the challenges with supplier quality and supply chain. Yes, perfect. All right. So let's cue it back up to the top of the slide. Thanks, everyone, for hanging on and being patient with us. We all know how it can be with the internet these days. So back to it. All right. So here are some issues that we've seen some of our customers experience when it comes to supplier management. And like I had mentioned, maybe you have experienced some as well. So the first one's pretty critical, where a supplier is not meeting your specifications. So we've heard from our customers that they continue to struggle with tracking supplier changes and unplanned changes to supplier quality. It's a real burden, especially if things are not approved. So it's a real challenge to follow through and address issues and preventing them from happening again. Another challenge we've heard from our customers is having that visibility into the supply chain. So, according to a publication called Supply Chain Brain, 69% of companies, organizations do not have visibility into their supply chain. So, without this, the visibility into your supplier base, if a supplier doesn't come through for you, you can be in a real pickle trying to find another supplier for that part you need to get your product finished and shipped on time into your customer's hands. So, ensuring your suppliers are following through on their contractual obligations for the specifications and tracking that back and forth communications that can happen, it's delivering, it can really affect how you deliver your product on time to your customers. And it's really vital to your bottom line. And speaking of the bottom line, many manufacturers are unsure of the financial impact of low quality materials and nonconformances from their suppliers, what for their product, what it has the effect on the organization across the line. So if you don't have this information and you are incurring higher costs that can be associated with scrap, rework, warranties, customer complaints, etc. So it's been estimated that an expense can be as high as 15 to 20% of your sales revenue, really having a negative impact on your bottom line. So, next, let's take a look at the processes for managing suppliers. Oh, can we go back to the previous slide, please? I wasn't done. Thank you. I know you want me to hurry up, right? So this becomes even more complicated with when you have several suppliers throughout numerous locations. So I'll give you an example. Say the Chicago location is not following the same process as the Kansas City location. So, how do you know if a supplier's been properly vetted or they have the most recent version of the specifications? Especially if you're using a paper based system and information that's critical, like this, is stored away in a filing cabinet and it's not easily accessible to everyone who needs it, say the folks in the Chicago office. So finally, not now that everyone's using different processes across multiple employees and departments and locations, but how this information is collected, not everyone is storing information in the same place. So you've got, like I mentioned, information that can be stored on a filing cabinet on that piece of paper tucked away in an office. Um, you've got people sharing information in spreadsheets or in SharePoint folders. So if you've got Katie in the Kansas City office, how is she going to get access to the approved supplier list if it's sitting on Jack's SharePoint folder in the Chicago location? So I think you get the idea that internal standards and tracking supplier information is not easily shared or communicated throughout the organization. And information and documentation is siloed and it becomes quickly outdated. And this includes important information as well as specifications for the products or the contract. So it's really difficult to get information from other business systems for critical processes, such as if you need to put inventory on hold if an issue arises. So these are just a few of the challenges we've heard about, and maybe you can relate to them, or your organization has its own set that you all are trying to work through. But there's a better way for us quality management folks to manage suppliers and the supply chain. And it's an electronic quality management system. So let's put on our superhero cape and work on getting a game plan in place for transforming the supply chain. Next slide, please. And we'll go to the next one, please. Thank you. Okay. So, an electronic quality management system, you can leverage it to manage your supply chain and suppliers. This not only improves quality management, but you're adding business value to the organization. So, not that long ago, we did a project with our customers and we looked at where they saw the value of a quality management system. And part of that was specifically looking at the value they saw when it came to supplier management. And what we heard from our customers was they saw real value when it came to reducing the risk of non-conforming materials. They were able to automate the tracking and the handling of supplier corrective actions. So no more folks in the Kansas City office following a different set of processes from the folks in Chicago. Everyone is following the same corrective action process. And because everyone is following the same process for holding suppliers accountable to their requirements, you are avoiding downtime, which can cost on average $260,000 an hour. So, overall equipment effectiveness is improving and it starts to trend upward for the organization. Another way we have learned our customers are gaining value from their eQMS to improve their supply chain is using the data and the insights from supplier scorecards. So the supplier scorecards are always up to date, helping to keep the good suppliers around and eliminating the lower performer suppliers. And this is really helping you to build a more resilient supply chain. You can also have better supplier relationships by involving them actively into your quality processes. So when you are providing them with a secure access to your eQMS, this really helps to keep the lines of communication open. And with this, it allows a relationship where information is flowing both ways between you and your suppliers. You're not just reaching out and talking to each other when there's a problem. So you've got folks working together, ensuring the right processes are taking place, and you're tracking data to optimize the supply chain. You can also leverage your eQMS to make sure your suppliers understand your requirements, and changes are approved before they get introduced into the manufacturing process. So when you are utilizing data and insights automatically stored in the quality management system, it's easy to recover costs from suppliers based on evidence. You'll have that visibility into the financial impact suppliers will have on your bottom line. And again, what I had mentioned before, you're helping to keep down the cost that are associated with scrap, waste, rework, customer complaints. So you're really helping to lower the cost of poor quality and protect your bottom line. And then once you have all of your suppliers onboarded into your quality management system, when you take a look at your processes for PPAP, receiving and inspection, and SCARs and supplier ratings, it's all automated and it's all connected. So you're only working with highly qualified suppliers. And this really helps to set the standards for future suppliers when you bring them on board. And finally, bringing this all together. The quality management system is helping to move quality from a cost center to a profit center. Because when you have a single source of truth for the entire organization to operate on one common platform for improving supplier management and supply chain, you are also improving the overall quality of your product. When you have a flexible, comprehensive solution that is integrating and contextualizing information, you are going to have consistency, improved processes, for example, revision control. And then everyone has access to all of the data that is needed for making decisions regarding suppliers. And you are lowering your cost. And perhaps I would say maybe the most important is you have happier customers. So with the integration between your eQMS, your ERP, and other business systems, you can sync your master supplier data to automate the routing of supplier feedback and performance data to other stakeholders in your value chain. So, for example, your procurement teams, engineering, and quality teams. So, this is really helping to create a closed loop system of continuous improvement for quality. You have information flowing freely between systems for easy analysis, and you can take it and transform it into actionable information. So, again, people have enough of the information of what they need when they need it so they know what to do when. Okay, so enough of me. I know everyone here is really here to hear from Jim. So I'd like to turn this over to Jim Davenport from Wolfspeed, and he's going to share with us their quality management journey and how they use their quality management system for managing suppliers in a supply chain. Jim, over to you, please.
Thank you, Jennifer. I really appreciate it. Go to the next slide, please. Next slide. So a little bit about me first. Probably don't care, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So professionally, I go work for Wolfspeed. I'm responsible for the ETQ Reliance System, Document Control Team, ETQ Business Analytics, and ISO 9000, IATF 16949, and AS 9100 audit program for global quality. Prior to joining Wolfspeed, I spent 20 years in the Navy. I've been in quality for 12 years. I was in 10 plus years of production management. I've been in supervisory roles for over 40 years, and the industries I've been in have been automotive, government contracts, teaching, and semiconductors. My education is a little bit different than most people in my industry. I have an MS in human relations and a BS in occupational education. So you can kind of see that I'm not your typical guy that works for a semiconductor manufacturer. Typically, most of my colleagues are engineers by trade. So personally, I'm married with 7 kids and 8 grandkids. This picture here was taken 2 years ago. That has 5 of the grands. My hobbies, I enjoy cooking, grilling, and barbecuing. And yes, for anybody that doesn't think so, there is a huge difference between grilling and barbecuing. I enjoy spectator sports, any Boston team, and I enjoy running. And if you were to see me stand up and turn sideways, you'd say, you need to run more. So next slide, please. So what is it we do at Wolfspeed? Well, our motto is we harness the power of silicon carbide to change the world for the better. And I'll talk a little bit about that as we move on. Next slide. So Wolfspeed at a glance. This is a couple of years old. It's about a year and a half old. But you can kind of see how our company market cap at 13 billion. We have 2,100 patents. We're the largest silicon carbide provider in the world. We harness probably 60 to 70% of the world's silicon carbide. We have partnerships with Mercedes and JLR. We have about 3,500 employees, and we've got about 30 years of leadership. We're a $35 billion company. Design and awards are about 11 billion. We're the #1 producer of silicon carbide, as I said. And our increase in silicon carbide power devices from 2022 to 2027 is going to be 4x. So next slide, please. So what is our footprint, Wolfspeed footprint? You can see we've got the manufacturing facilities in Durham, North Carolina, and Research Triangle, Fayetteville, Arkansas. We have a design site in Mesa, Arizona. We have a manufacturing site in Dallas, and we have a manufacturing site in Marcy, New York. We are building a facility in Saarland, Germany. It's going to also be a manufacturing site. We've got design and labs in Munich, or sales and labs in Sweden, and also we have sales operations in Belfast, Ireland. Belfast is also where our primary IT takes place. And then we've got a slew of sales and labs in Asia. Next slide. So this is our ETQ model. We started this journey in 2019. We have 14 modules currently in use. We are continuing to update and manage these different modules so we can improve on them. Recently, we added the training management module and the assets and calibration module. So that was pretty exciting for us. And that has been a huge impact on our efficiency and also our ability to respond to audit inquiries. We consistently tend to have findings that are related to training records and calibration findings. We have 3 dock control admins, 1 ETQ programmer, and a quality management system manager and a business analyst. So that's on the ETQ side. Next slide. So what we do specifically with supplier materials and chemicals is we have our approved supplier list. in there, we have our PQI approval process and our supplier PCN process and supplier quality agreements. Now, I will say that supplier quality agreements right now, that's more of a repository, because about a year ago we switched over and now we have a supplier quality manual that we have posted on an external website. And as we engage with suppliers, we just tell them that they need to review that and comply with that. So we don't go through the mess of negotiating with suppliers to make sure that we get the best quality. We just expect it, and we expect them to provide it. Next slide. Next slide. And
Yeah,
I think this is
thank
you
you.
now, Jennifer, isn't it?
Sure is. Thank you. Thanks
right.
for sharing your experiences with ETQ and at Wolfspeed and how you manage your suppliers. I'm sure everyone got some great nuggets of information. So, as I mentioned before, I'm from ETQ, and we have an eQMS system called ETQ Alliance. So I'd like to just take a brief moment to share with you a little bit more about who we are before we jump into the Q&A. So don't forget to add any questions to the chat that you might have. Okay, so as I'm sure you all know, there are a lot of phases to the quality management journey. But no matter where you are in your journey at ETQ, we're ready to help. As I mentioned, we have a comprehensive purpose built eQMS where you can reduce costs, streamline operations, and build compliance into your processes. And then all of this results in improved efficiency, faster time to market, sustainability, and bottom line results. So, we'd love to have the opportunity to share our expertise and help you along your quality journey. And as you can see with ETQ, you are in good company. We serve hundreds of customers of all shapes and sizes across many industries. And we apply learnings and best practices from across all of these industries to provide a unique value to you and all of our customers. Next slide, please. For over 30 years, ETQ has empowered quality champions to use quality management as a catalyst for business success. We aim to be a trusted advisor to our customers, helping to guide them along their quality journey. Also, we are a part of Hexagon, a global leader in sensor software and autonomous solutions. Next slide, please. Okay, so thank you for letting me share with you a little bit more about ETQ. And we've now reached the point of our webinar for the Q&A. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what questions have come through the chat. So just one moment, bear with me while I pull it up. Okay, let's see. This looks like a question for you, Jim. What are your recommendations for assessing and selecting suppliers to ensure they meet your quality standards?
Well, there are a couple of ways we go about doing that. So we have our ASL, so that's how we assess everybody. And the assessment takes place as part of a risk analysis. We look at the customer themselves, and we look at the various risks that they have. We ask them to complete a survey, and they would tell us how many sites they have and what the redundancy is. So we're looking for any risks. So we do a risk assessment, and that's how we primarily select our suppliers. And we actually have some standards that we are bound to. IATF 16949, ISO 9001, and AS 9100. All of those have criteria that you have to use in order to select your suppliers. So we use that in addition to our own internal processes.
Great. Thanks, Jim. Let's see, here's another one that came through. So you mentioned you have a manual for suppliers posted on your website. How else do you communicate quality expectations to your suppliers?
That's a good question. So our supplier quality manual is one, and then when we do purchase quality items, we issue specifications, and we make sure that those are controlled, and those are all also in ETQ. And we have regular supplier audits with the customer, whether they're desk audits or whether they're in-person audits. We look for at their scars. We verify that their scars are being met, and also we're getting good responses from them. So that's how we ensure that we get good quality from them.
Great, thank you. Let's see. What about, looks like there's a question here about metrics or KPIs. What specific KPIs do you use to measure supplier quality?
We have two primary KPIs. We look at scar response time because we want to make sure that things come back to us in a timely manner to make sure that they're not going to recur. So we give them very specific time frames. If it's a scar, we might tell them that we have to have but containment done within 2 days, corrective action within 5 days, and then a permanent corrective action and verification of that corrective action done within 30 days. So we set very clear limits on scar response time. And the other one we do is surveillance audits performed on time. So we look at making sure that our surveillance audits that we do are completed on time and they're closed out within a good amount of time. So we look at those two indicators to make sure that we're tracking the performance of our suppliers.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, that's pretty critical. Let's see. So have you seen a reduction in product defects or warranty claims or customer returns because you've been able to work on better supplier quality management?
It's hard to quantify that, but
Mhm.
if you look at the number of scars per customer and you track those and you see those coming down over time, you can use that as somewhat of a metric to know that what you're doing is meeting or improving our customers or our suppliers.
Yeah. Okay, so I think this might be our last question. Um, have you observed any cost savings or an efficiency improvement? Have you seen like workflows or some type of efficiency improvement because of being able to manage your suppliers a little bit better with an eQMS?
I mean, ETQ really helps a lot with ensuring consistency in managing our purchase quality items. And our specs are managed through ETQ as well. And so we make sure that those specs stay consistent and those specs are revision controlled. So yes, we've seen cost savings in that respect as well. It minimizes the risk of having misunderstood requirements. So we can definitely consider that to be a cost saving measurement.
Great. Well, I think that is it for all of the questions that have come in. And I'd like to thank you, Jim, for taking time out of your day to share with us all how Wolfspeed manages supplier quality in your supply chain. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And you will receive an email with a link to the recording afterwards. And feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jennifer, for allowing me to join the team here.
We loved having you. Thank you, Jim. Bye, everyone.